So that bottom number tells me what root I find. That number tells me, the number on top tells me what to do after I find it.
It's going to be 2.
So what is it going to be raised to? Well, it's going to be squared.
The answer is going to be 2.
Well, so we find the third root of 8. Okay? And then after we find it, our numerator tells us to square that answer. So it's raised to the second power. So first off, what's the third root of 8? What times what times what gives me 8? 2 times 2 times 2. And then, so we've simplified 8 to the third root. And then now, what are we going to do with it? We're going to square it. So 2 times 2 gives me 2 times 2 gives me 4. First off, for 25 to the 3 over 2. What are we going to do first? What do we got?
Got 125.
Well, how'd you get it?
Well, I did 25 to the square root.
Okay, so we got 25 to the second root.
And then I did, the answer was 5.
And then what'd you do after that?
Cubed it.
Yeah. So you find the square root of 25 first, Noah. Turn. Turn. Not that way. That way. That's a little bit better. A little more. Square root of 25 is 5, and then you would raise it to the third power. So 5 times 5 times 5 gives you 125. 16 to the 5/4. Well, first off, you find the fourth root of 16. That denominator tells me that. My numerator tells me after I figure this thing out, I'm going to raise it to the fifth power. So if you needed to, you could have factored 16 out. So that's 8 times 2, 4 times 2, and 2 times 2. Okay? Now, how many am I looking for? I'm looking for 4 of the exact same numbers. So I factored this whole thing out, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4. If I circle 4 numbers, what number do I write down?
2.
Just 2. And the last thing that you would have to do is raise it to the fifth power. And you get what?
10. Or 32.
32.
That's what I got.
So 2 times exponent. If I want to make these radicals and I want to put them into a fractional exponent, what would this be? What's the answer to this first one? If I wanted to make this into a number and a fractional exponent. Well, first off, we know we're going to deal with the number 128. Okay? If I want to make that into a fractional exponent, I want a fraction as my exponent. What root am I finding? What root am I finding for 128? How do I know? What root?
7.
The 7. That tells you what root you are finding. So, is the 7 the numerator or denominator?
Numerator.
No. The denominator.
Well, it goes into 128, but 7 goes into 128.
And then what would this be raised to? I mean,
the 1.
yeah, it'd be 1 because nothing's happening to this 128 after I figure this out. About this bottom one, what do I got?
625.
So I know I'm dealing with 625.
To the 4.
So what root am I finding?
4.
Fourth root. So what is that, the numerator or denominator? Denominator.
3 at the top.
And the 3 would be my numerator. Okay?